Incunabula. I think that might have been maybe a voice sample that was mangled. It sounded like that at the end. This is my very first impression of Autechre. I know it's just an intro track, but I really liked it. It's kind of ambient, even though it had like a groove to it, but the groove was, you know, very sparse and atmospheric, and it's definitely not trying to get you to like, I mean, I think I was kind of like bopping my head because I can't help it, but it's not trying to make you like shake your booty. It's just sort of giving a propulsion to the track. It's kind of in between keys, so I was going to play it on piano, and I still will, but I can't play along. I guess I'm going to say maybe it was like a 303 synth, but that bass, that descending line, is just going down a certain kind of chord. It's a minor 7th chord. It sounds like this. So let's start here. I held out all the notes so you can see them all like that. Look at how symmetrical that is. This is a chord that's made up of the same type of interval all the way up, thirds. Little variations like that. Rhythmically, though, I was actually a bit lost, so I just kind of surrendered. The other thing I wasn't sure was going to happen with this artist was like how harmonically rich it was going to be. A lot of the people watching this video saw all of my Boards of Canada analysis videos and watched me figure out the harmonies and melodies of some very, very strange music that was, of course, never probably meant to be analyzed in that way, but I care not. I think it's fun. This one had like straight up like synth chords, and they were beautiful. So like you could say Calpol intro is in D minor. And there were chords like, you know, like, and like stuff like that. It was very pretty. All right, let's listen to Bike. It's a mad delay on that. It's pretty. This drum kit reminds me of something. about this music, but it's very nostalgic. But I'm thinking maybe ahead of its time. Nice. There's this bass line that goes through the entire 8 minutes. It's like D. Then it goes up to A, but down an octave. Then a little bump up. Very dark. But I noticed this thing they did, they have a little pattern of the A to the A that they put into the melody. There we go. So in the bass it goes down A down to A, and in the melody it goes up to an A to start the new phrase over. It could be a complete coincidence, but it's just something that I thought was kind of a neat thread of continuity. So yeah, this is really pretty. It kind of reminds me of like some trance, like bubbly kind of trance lead that you might hear maybe eight years later. I think it was probably a 16th note delay, but it created all this. This is true for all delays that are like persistent enough with a coming off of a signal that's got like a, pretty strong attack and a short release. So it's just like a little blip. You can get all this magical, these other sub rhythms and sub harmonies that come in from the delay overlapping with itself over the melody. And so that's a lot of what's going on here. That's a little Dorian moment, actually. So maybe it's more like D Dorian. Dorian's a very similar scale to minor, but it does have an important difference, and it's this kind of magical sounding note. This one, because it's only a half step away from this one. Easter egg for the Perfect Circle fans. The melody is overlaid with these chords. And the chords also have this really strong delay. Oh yeah, I really liked this little bridge because they bring the melody back by itself, but this time whatever synth it is probably has two oscillators, and one of them's like an octave lower and one's an octave higher, and they're kind of like switching between which oscillator is louder. It could be happening a different way, I'm not sure, but either way you can hear it kind of dipping down an octave and then it goes back up. Upper octave, lower octave, and then even lower. Oh no, actually, sorry, hang on. So it's like, yeah, da-da-da-da. So that's actually 3 octaves. There you can actually hear them together. Anyway, I like that kind of stuff, those variations. This is the section where that kind of, is it like pads? Yeah. So these kind of swimmy, oceanic synths come in, and it just felt like, oh my gosh, I feel like this is a loop or something that I would have found in my techno EJ software in 1999. Like, it just brought back so many memories. So however it was generated feels very like nostalgic. So this is a duo. It's Rob Brown and Sean Booth. And they were, well, I looked up Rob Brown's age. I hadn't gotten to Sean's yet. But so Rob was 22 when they made this record. And it'll be really cool to listen to maybe like their most recent, or, you know, something in a different phase of their life and their development as musicians. The next one's called Autechre. Autechre. Wow. It's like all the consonants are gone. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really feel that one. Just the synth, the choices, the sound design just was not my aesthetic. This was a little bluesy almost. This like little, or sorry, that little lick, and then it changed, like, or the first time it went down like that. So it was like, and the second time it was like, or something. It was also in D, so that seems to be their favorite key, at least for this album. Bronchus 2. Oh man, listen to that reverb. Little ray gun. It's an interesting sample. This reminds me of Aliens. Not the movie, just the concept of Aliens. Next is Bass Cadet. Sounds like a hand drum with like a 808. Whoa. Ow. It's cool, but ouch. Sounds like a triangle. It's like talkative, trancey sweeps. This one sounds a little bit evil. This half step here. It also has this one. So this, so this kind of bit comes from a scale called harmonic minor, but the bass is from Phrygian. And both of them have a lot of like this kind of dark half step motion. The half step from below from harmonic minor and the half step from above from Phrygian. But there's also just a lot of like more, I don't know, metallic alien like sounds and samples. And I liked the one that almost sounded like a triangle sample that they then, you know, maybe put into a sequencer or something. And so, you know, it was on every like maybe 16th note, but then they put it across the whole scale or something. So it became more of a tonal instrument as opposed to just percussive. Same could have been true for the one that was doing that one and the or whatever that other variation was. So there's a lot of sounds in there that felt percussive that weren't maybe initially supposed to be tonal, but they turned them tonal by putting them by pitching them. The kick was a little bit more punchy in this one, and it kept reminding me of like a camera shutter, the way the maybe the snare was or something, or some other, maybe it was even the hi-hat, I don't know, but it had this like krrr sound, like when you put a camera on burst mode, it sounds like this. The next one's called Eggshell. We might have a flat 6 chord. I like how this hi-hat is spread. I want to try something just for fun. I wanted to harmonize with it. I was just thinking that could sound really cool. Well, I liked this one. It's, 9 minutes went by pretty fast. They really kept it quite interesting, and they did a lot of variations with the drums, I think, to keep things fresh for the listener. But they started with just like this A to an F. So we're in the key of A minor here. And this is called the flat 6. It's my favorite note to have in the bass. It just creates really beautiful harmonies with melodies. It's just amazing. If you're curious, I have 2 videos going on and on and on about it with lots of musical examples. I really liked the kind of pad layers that got added slowly. There was one that was like, or something. Oh, sorry. And then like da, and then at one point it started going down, da, da, which is one of the beautiful things that you can do with this note in the bass. You create this mournful tritone sound. But there's some other layers too, but they're all just sort of supporting that movement of going down. And then this melody came in, and I smiled, I remember, because the tone of it sounded, again, like something that was in like a loop from Techno EJ, just like this certain kind of sparkly, square wavy kind of, kind of sharp attack, bell-like synth. And obviously I had fun figuring out that melody. I am sorry that I had to play over it so much, but I just couldn't stop myself from doing it. So apologies if that was annoying to you. It had a really beautiful, like, syncopated rhythm to it that accompanied that descending pattern. And it is like a very sound pattern. So this part. What's my cat looking at? Are you both looking at something? Is there a bug? Oh, there's a bug. Uh-oh. It's really pretty. It's over here. Oh, it's hiding under the keyboard. You're safe in there. Don't come out. This is really pretty because it capitalizes on the heaviness and the mystery, the mysteriousness, the mystery of the flat 6 in the scale. That half step resolution. But then again, they got this octave. They love their octaves with their A's. Then they take that same note sequence, but they change the rhythm. So that's cool. That's a nice tip. So the first time it starts on an offbeat. They have a little rest. Second time. And then there's a little syncopation of the da, 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 which is the same syncopation that the descending thirds thing has. And it just so happens that if they keep that rhythm going, that syncopated rhythm going, and they get all the way down, to resolve to the A. And the A is like the home note in this song. So there's this really satisfying feeling of this cascade, but ultimately it lands right where it belongs. I just love that feeling. This was cool. Very nice. Sweet boy, I can't see what the next song is called. It's called Doctrine. Also might be in the key of A. Ish. My sweet boy. Don't step on these. Don't step on this. We gotta clap. I think Milo just ate the moth. She's like... classic pad. Trancey. There's no change. Oh my god! It's like a trance build. Yeah. Hey Milo. Something wasn't expecting, I think. That, but also that there's a lot of like trancey precursors in here. I wasn't listening to trance in the early 90s. It wasn't until the late 90s. Probably more even like 2000 was when I like really got into it. I'd be interested to hear where they go with this. This is their first record. What happened next? There's one that's doing the da, 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 which kind of implies a certain kind of harmony. Like I might like go like this. And this part. If you had to make this song into like a piano ballad, that's how you could do it. But yeah, it was really beautiful, those interlocking things. The bass was basically just hitting this like A. It very cool, like on-off switch kind of feeling to it. Like, I really liked the drum groove. They switched up the kick. And so this is a really good example of how different you can make a song feel by just changing the kick pattern. The first kick pattern was like a and the second one was da 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 da. Really, really different kind of emphasis pattern, because the da da has like a beat on every, or a kick on every, like every other beat. It's like very solid, even kind of, and there's a little heartbeat before it. Ga ga ga. But the other one, the da 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 da, that's a little bit more tribal sounding. It's kind of a 3 against. Three against two kind of thing, I think. Yeah, that one was cool. I like that one. The next one is called Metal. Ah! Ow. 1/8 delay. It's great. It's raining here. Can you hear it? A little thing I noticed about maybe some of their melodies. Same with Eggshell, it's like they took a little figure and then they repeated it again and then like changed the rhythm again. Sorry. So they have this like da 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 da, that like da 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 da, and they do it again, and then this third time they actually change the rhythm inside the figure. I couldn't get a hold of it to replicate it for you. And then they did this da da and then da da and then replicate it down an octave. So yeah, it's fun to pick out the patterns, I think. And then they have that kind of trancey, beautiful, lofty, ambient synth. Maybe it's not trancey, it's just like what's she gonna do? It's like, maybe it's just that I put it in my songs, and so now I associate it with trance. Can't be bothered, Pax? Are you feeling feisty, honey? Please don't step on the buttons. Please don't step on the buttons. Oh. Anyway, the pads are doing this. These aren't chords, but it did give me like this impression of like G minor and then C major. Sorry, I don't know why I played it like that. There we go. Which is pretty, really, really pretty and kind of magical sounding. But you don't need all those notes to create that feeling. You can just use two. And if you want to know more about that, implied harmony, I have a video, I think it's called So Trent Reznor Does This Thing. Some interesting sampling going on, I think. I swear there was like a steel drum or a handpan or some kind of instrument like that that you strike with your hand, or a mallet. Oh. The handpan is strict with your hand, but the steel drum is with a mallet. Whatever. That kind of timbre. And then sequenced, but also like, maybe not sequenced. Maybe it was just that they sampled different parts of it. Because there was like, there were times when I couldn't hear the attack of the sample. Just like the middle part. Or the sustain of it. Just the middle. And then other times I would hear the attack, and I would also hear the ringing out. So that was an interesting thing they did. Next is called Woodwind. Oh my gosh. Is that 303? Ooh, some polyrhythms. I'm ready for the 4 on the floor. Just give me full on trance. I'm ready. After I let go of the idea of it becoming like having like that throbbing kick that I wanted, I really got into it, and I think it's so beautiful. It's these 2 chords. So it just starts at D minor. Well, you saw, but whatever. D minor. The 7th chord? No. D minor and then E minor. But the pad that's on top that goes... This note creates some dissonance. So this is D Dorian as well. This one. This is like a minor chord with a major 6th on it. It's so pretty. It's very mysterious, isn't it? And then this is like a minor chord with a minor 6th on it. Some people would call it the X-Files chord, or a major 7th chord, right? But I don't think of it that way. So it's kind of this pattern, yeah. It's pretty. I loved the polyrhythm that was going on with the da 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 da. I was trying to play along, and I kept I would get faked out and lose it, but it was really cool. And it was on that special note, the 6th. The song's in D. So you just get that vibe the whole time. Really no low end in that song. I mean, there was enough to make it feel like it wasn't fatiguing per se. A lot of it, again, has been very floaty, and it gives you this feeling almost as if something's not completely finished, or like you're always searching. Again, this is just my experience, but it feels like there's something about it's a little bit unresolved in a way. I hope I don't lose power. I don't want to lose all this work. But yeah, that's one thing that keeps me kind of hanging on, is because I keep expecting the shoe to drop, and it doesn't. So it's I'm hanging on, I'm yearning. So there's a little bit of that yearning feeling. But no, it also just gives a different vibe. I don't know. It's chilled out. When it's up here, it's a little bit more cerebral. Okay, anyway, the thunder has told me it's time to move on. Next one is Low Ride. With some low end. This just makes me think of that ringtone that came out in 2002 or 3 or whatever. That one. That part. Hello. Are they playing this, or is it a sample? Oh my god, it's got that 808 the cowbell, is that what it was supposed to be for? Or a triangle? What was it? This has got a low end for sure. Kind of a boomy. I got some 808, bass drum, I mean. Yeah, this one's kind of jazzy, a little bit, with that piano. sampling's nice. That's a fun melody. I love that. And then the what was the hang on. Kind of making it up a little bit. I heard those notes. I didn't hear that one, but maybe it's in there. Who knows? That's so jazzy. It's fun. That one felt a little bit more playful to me than the others. But yeah, the clap pattern. I think maybe that was the direct inspiration for that on hold waiting music. So that may be another reason why it felt playful to me. Okay, the last one is called 444. Hard for me to not want to kick drum. That's not their fault. It's on me. It's like wiggle. Okay. So this was much more melodic and accessible than I was expecting. I'm not sure why. Like maybe it's because a lot of the requests for me to listen to Autechre were from both Boards of Canada fans and Aphex Twin fans. So, but I also know this is their first record. So I am curious what they developed into. I'd be interested to hear something maybe from like 10 years later. What what album in the early 2000s, mid 2000s would you recommend that I listen to next? Because it kind of would be cool to maybe sample one of those and then like their most recent. Thank you so much for watching. That's the end of the video. And if you'd like to hear more about what I think about electronic music, there's a few other videos, a lot of rock on my channel, but I got some boards of Canada. I recorded a whole like listening to trance music from 2002, or I think recently, and I just haven't had the guts to share it with you yet, but if you think I should, I will. And I want to thank my patrons so much for their amazing support. They are the reason that I get to do this without sponsorships, which I just cannot bring myself to do it. So anyway, thank you so much for keeping me from having to sell my soul. If you want to be one of those people, I got a really cool Patreon, really great people. And we do fun things like musical challenges and album listening parties and song requests and stuff like that. So come check it out. Also, I'm a recording artist now, and and now I'm a singer too. So I've got an album if you're interested. It doesn't sound anything like that, but there is a song that's got like a trance lead faux show. Every song's a different genre. How fun. Thanks so much. See you next time.